Hey guys, Turret here bringing you a 1v1 today. We are on Nexus, playing for today's spawning. On the right we have Wheaties, Breakfast of Champions, playing as COH2, who has Ground Offensive, Luftwaffe Ground Forces, and Special Operations, Face Offensive. On the left we have MeisseliMies, I guess, playing as US Forces, straight away going for Rifle Company. In terms of rankings here, Wheaties around rank 200, Meisseli around rank 150. Though Wheaties appears to be a Smurf account. Doesn't have many games, around rank 70 with two other factions at the moment in 1v1, so not entirely sure who this is. Used to be able to look up that stuff relatively easily on the old leaderboards, right? But these days that website stopped working, unfortunately. Can only really see the leaderboards through in-game, through COH2.org. Okay, well, very, very slow to cancel the sandbag production in the centre. Wagon chasing away the double rifleman for the moment. Some guys coming in from the side. Bad retreat path. Could be the end of the rear echelon. Bit of run and gun. Wasn't much body blocking. Oh, there it goes now. That looks like it could be the end of the rear echelon. There they go. So you have to be aware of those retreat paths. I guess he was hoping that they would go up here, but instead came back through this path, and there go the rear echelon. Tough start for Meisseli. Also, maybe building this tank trap slightly in the wrong position. Most players build it here instead of on this side. Not a huge deal though.
Krauts are taking one of our points.
There you go, the rear echelon now. But yeah, losing a squad like that early on, it's a blow. You know, at least it's rear echelon, a rifle squad, but still quite painful. I've been doing quite a lot of rifle company strategies myself lately. They've been going alright. The double rear echelon start, you know, one for the flamer, one for the sweeper. If you like, generally rear echelon strategies, you know, double rear echelon starts not that strong. Yes, you can upgrade them with a weapon, whether it be rifle grenade launcher, flamethrower, or M1919s. Close call on that rifleman getting away there. Yeah, okay, so Meisseli following roughly my strategy. He's paying super close attention to whether the rear echelon was the first constructed unit or not. Lieutenant though taking a bit of a bruising in close like this. And you know, once the lieutenant drops down to 2 models in a scenario like that, just it's doing basically no damage. You know, the bazooka very bad against infantry. Save some manpower getting out of there a little bit earlier. Okay, gonna go for the flamethrower. Is a touch risky. Won't have access to the sweeper, and going for the M3 now. Quite quick to produce. One thing that I have been focusing on recently with this is you can plant med crates with these. It kind of allows you to delay your ambulance a bit, so if you've got the munitions, which Meisseli doesn't at the moment, hasn't connected the munitions point in the entire game, and went for the flamethrower and the bazooka first. But you've got the munitions, and you want to try out the strategy. Drop some med crates on your way out with M3. And that allows you to delay your ambulance. Got some models queued up in the half track. Going chasing after the coup wagon. Doesn't get it though. And yeah, you have to be careful inside the troop transport. Lieutenant does have potential to go down. This thing isn't super durable, and before it gets that Vet 1 speed boost step on it, it's also not terribly fast either. We're jumping the lieutenant out here, trying to reinforce as many models as possible right now. But yeah, half-track strategies, they're pretty fun, but they require quite a lot of fiddly micro. So don't expect to just start doing them straight away and have a lot of success. You have to build your way into them. And even then, it still doesn't really solve it too much. You have the Raketen out now for Wheaties, has gone for battle group. I still feel a little bit worried about the lieutenant inside. It's doubly so, you know, say the M3 gets shot twice by the Raketen. Obviously not ideal to have happen. But then the squad inside the building is like 50-50 chance of going down, right? As if you've got 5 models. It's probably like a 4% chance or something like that. 3% maybe. So yeah, it's just one more thing to consider. Into the 50 cal now. So yeah, one of the reasons why you go for the double echelon at the start is they're quite fast to build. Can lead to some good territory control in the very early stages. And it eases the path towards getting the double officers, which, you know, is a decent amount of fuel. And you can also kind of slow down your weapon rack tech as well with these kind of strategies, because you got excellent flamer on the rear echelon, weapons on both the officers, so go for weapon racks or grenades. Maybe not quite as necessary as it is, but maybe like a standard USF build. Okay, now got the vets. This is very good news for MeisseliMies. A few drive-bys, forcing quite a few retreats. And now an infantry support gun out for Wheaties. I think this is not a very good timing for this, too early. I feel like the game's a bit too free-flowing at the moment for the ISG to really get value. And it's not really, it's not a mortar, right? So if it does get caught out of position by the M3, it's quite scary. Could get decrewed. These mortars can retreat, so yeah, not a huge fan of this. Maybe like I'll be going for this maybe like 12 to 15 minutes, but 9 minutes I feel is a bit early. Maybe if it was like double 50 cals, be a bit more sensible, or if there was maybe something like a Sturm officer maybe from special operations. Got the long line of sight on it. That would be quite handy. Reckless coup wagon operation here. 50 cal reinforcing off the half track. Honestly, if the half track's not under pressure from an enemy light vehicle, especially a mobile one like the 222, or maybe the looks, it's pretty, makes it a lot easier, we'll put it that way. Makes it way easier to operate. You feel quite a lot more secure. Don't have to be so concerned about your positioning at all times, and you're generally under a lot less pressure as well. Anti-tank gun out from MeisseliMies. Maybe not necessary. Still quite a long way away from a medium tank, and you don't really need an anti-tank gun to try to take down a Kuba wagon. It's nearly died a couple times so far. Probably be looking to get maybe weapon racks at this stage. Try even up the fight a little bit more between the STG folks and the riflemen. They're still performing reasonably well. Won't start struggling until the overs arrive, which they will be quite shortly. So Wheaties looking to set up shop down the bottom here, which is interesting. We'll see how it goes. straight into the flak gun upgrade. SG having to pull back a little bit. Here comes the M3 from the side. Wants to go for the Kubel kill, but the flak gun's popping. Let's pop the speed boost. Oh, where's the speed boost? Oh man, there's some awkward pathing. Why does it keep stopping like that? Oh.
Light vehicle just got destroyed.
Okay, well, it's yeah, maybe a little bit too aggressive. You know, the shred was up. Unless you just see it go up, can't really assume that it's not upgrading with the flak gun. So you have to be a little bit more cautious with that. And the speed boost, as I said, is absurd on the M3. I don't know what the bonuses are, but it seems extremely high. Oh, there we go. Nice finish off there for Meisseli. One of the real advantages, you know, you got the sprint on the rifleman, sprint and snare, a very powerful combo. Can help relieve light vehicle pressure with this kind of strategy. But yeah, Loba's on the field now, upgrading with the LMG, so Meisseli in some trouble. Has the munitions. Still a good chunk away from a tank, or I suppose Sherman's right around the corner, but probably want to go for the Easy 8 with this kind of build. So that's another 20 fuel away, and there we go. Got the weapon racks, got the bars. Would be ideal to get these maybe, you know, like 2 or so minutes earlier than this. Probably even before the major. Kind of want to give yourself the best chance possible to have as much territory as possible. So the weapon racks as early as possible. Makes sense. But oh wow, gonna go for a Scott. Okay. Did the lieutenant get a second bazooka? Looks like they might have a bar. One bar, one bazooka. Going for the Scott. It did get buffed a little bit this patch on its barrage. But I feel it's a little bit risky. It does have an anti-tank gun, but only one bazooka. 2 squads with snares. Could get caught out quite easily by the arrival of the OKW Panther 4. I think I'd personally just be going for the Easy 8. Start trying to vet that up. And yeah, as far as the Easy 8 goes, I've been mainly using it with the machine gun. I feel like it kind of needs that extra boost from the anti-infantry from the machine gun. Didn't find the extra sight that helpful. It's just, you know, with anti-tank guns being so common and popular in the meta at the moment, you might find yourself in a compromised position where you need to decrew the anti-tank gun. And if you don't have the machine gun upgrade on the Easy 8, it can take way too long. It can result in things going haywire. Facing the wrong way, trying to shut down this previous flank, but now getting flanked itself. Ooh! Slightly late retreat, good shot from the Scot, and there goes the squad. Kitten is way out the back, very slow getting into action for Wheaties here. It's a close call for Lieutenant, but it does get away. Oh, and that's a nasty hit from the Scot like that, close range. Now the Ober's in some trouble. I wouldn't be throwing an incendiary grenade at that kind of scenario. Seems like a little bit of waste of unis. Kitten has pushed its way forwards here. Bit of pressure onto the anti-tank gun. Nearly decrewed. If he had the STGs, could have decrewed it quite a lot earlier. Oh, but that's an interesting call. And a bad call, I'd say. Retreating both of these could easily have killed the decrewed anti-tank gun there with the Raketen. He had the machine gun nearby to protect the Raketen from the captain. Had the Volksgrenadier there to stall, prevent squads from capping this. Maybe throw an incendiary grenade on it. I'm not sure if the cooldown was ready quite then, but either way, that's a missed opportunity for an anti-tank gun kill. Can't really afford to let those slip through your hands like that. Still no commander selection from Wheaties yet either. Has gone for the Panzer IV.
Area secured. In contact.
Options are still open though.
The capture point is under attack.
Nice chap to vet 1 now. Fires off the Faust. Not a horrible idea, just slow down the Scott a little bit. Only a little bit though in this case. Re-echelon there doing some repairs. Here comes the Panzer IV. M1 coming through the center here. Scott getting a pretty good hit on the machine gun. And I think the Raketen trying to clear off the tank trap. Ultimately, MeisseliMies getting forced away from the center. And yeah, that Panzer IV felt like it came out a little bit slow. And so MeisseliMies managing to squeeze out the Easy 8 not very long after the OKW Panzer IV arrives. So that Scott, you know, what was jam at that stage. Got to do a decent amount of damage with it. Got essentially 1 wipe because of it. Okay, OKW Panzer IV a little bit clumsy on the maneuvering. Luckily it's the double officers there, so no snares on it. Easy 8 chasing down. The Kitten's right there though. Kitten actually finishing off the anti-tank gun. So maybe the Easy 8 could have chased a little bit further there, since he did have the double officers nearby for the decrew on the Raketen. And the Easy 8 does go pretty well in the head-to-head against the OKW Panzer IV. It's got that extra penetration, armor and health over the regular Sherman, so quite a tough customer. Probably would pull back with the Sherman, if there's a threat of the snare anywhere nearby, but that was not the case. So I think I would have tried to push my luck there. Oof. And this is probably a time where MeisseliMies wants to consider going for some grenades. So really good timing for grenade tech. Got quite a lot of munitions floating. Bit of resources in the bank. Oh wow, that RE flame ended up going down. Didn't even notice that. Heartbreaker. Second Scotland instead for MeisseliMies. And a rebuild on the anti-tank gun. This is I probably wouldn't be going for another Scott here. And the rebuild on the tank gun. I'll probably just go for another Easy 8. But we'll see how it goes. Sometimes Scots can be, more powerful in pairs. Kind of like the mortar pit. 2 shells can land in quick succession. Don't give you much opportunity to dodge. Can end up being greater than the sum of their parts. Second Raketen coming in now for Wheaties. And you did indeed go for the tank commander upgrade. Got the extra vision. I feel like nowadays, with the major, once it gets that Vet 2 sight bonus. Or is it Vet 3? I think it's Vet 2. Getting the extra sight on the Easy 8 maybe not as important. And I'd prefer to have the anti-infantry. But with this particular build, you've got the Scots, so the extra sight for them may be quite handy. And relying more on them for the anti-infantry instead of the Easy 8 itself. I jumped up on light cover there, yeah, you could see that was going to happen. That was an excellent waiting to happen. 6 models down in 1 hit. Juicy experience there for the Panzer IV. Meisseli having a bit of trouble controlling the center. Double Raket into the machine gun, the ISG. Allowing a pretty good camp at the moment for Wheaties, who has locked in to Luftwaffe. Doesn't mention the bonus sight in the Major's veterancy. Slow backing away with Easy 8. That's where the extra little bit of health comes in handy. A normal Sherman would have died just then. Pressure from the side with the Volksgrenadiers. Get the D crew on the M1. Needs to get back here with one of these officers. Go for the recrew. Got the planes coming in. The airborne assault. So these Scots on the move. Interesting. It looks like the vehicle crew can still repair while they're pinned. I don't think I've ever seen that before. And the Panzer IV coming forwards, looking to capitalize on the decrewed anti-tank gun. Hoffman jumping back on. Go for the double anti-tank grenades, looking for the snare. Panzer IV looking for the decrew. Got the Sternpike coming in and has picked up the flamer as well. Panzer IV should just hold its position here. Okay, there we go. Manages to get the D crew again. So there's a 5-man rifle squad there. Maybe going to be able to jump back on top of it. So they're heading over to it now. Ooh, just managed to get onto it in time. Before armor bouncing. The Kittens were coming up also looking for the kill. And there we go. There goes the Panzer IV. Maybe a mistake from Meisseli. From Wheaties. Trying to back away with the Panzer IV with the damaged engine. And two squads were, going to be able to jump on the gun. If he drove towards it, he'd have more DPS from the machine gun on the Panzer IV. Could maybe, even with the slow movement speed, drive around the side of it, force the anti-tank gun to reposition, buy some time for some reinforcements to arrive. The only thing that would really backfire is if more troops arrive from Meisseli in support. I think that's a trade-off you should be willing to take. As we saw, trying to back away, it just did not work out at all. So, try to take a chance on something working out instead of not. Yeah, the Beam Corper there trying to get some damage onto the riflemen as they advance. Bobas have been a little bit slow vetting up, just about to hit Vet 2 now. When they get their big power spike. Oh boy, Major forgotten about it on the far side. Down it goes.
An infantry unit. They got wiped out.
Double Scots going to town. Ouch. And that does indeed look to be very powerful. The shells come through very quickly on barrage at that range. That's actually quite strong. Panther out now for Wheaties. Is a better matchup against the Easy 8. Easy 8 still hasn't vetted up too much, not even Vet 1 yet. That's kind of good. Doesn't have the focused gunnery, which can make it harder for the Panther to deal with. So quite a lot of manpower in reserve for Wheaties as well. But yeah, those Scott barrages, they've got quite a low angle on them. So the shells travel very quickly. Seems to make it a little bit harder to dodge. Easy 8 getting a rear armor shot from the front. A little bit of good luck. They're taking a good chunk of damage. Doesn't have sternposts, so having to rebuild those. Double Scots going after the Raketen. And wow, just manages to decrew that one. Keeping advancing. connection.
A capture point.
They're a little bit slow pushing up in support. Here it comes now, but the anti-tank gun has been repurchased. Or recovered and reinforced at least. That forces back the Panther. Jumping back on top of this. Cooldown on the barrage is pretty quick as well, actually. Yeah, well, I mean, by the time they finishes firing the barrage here at Vet 2, it's basically ready to fire again.
Tank support is here. Sherman ready.
Okay, second easy out now for MeisseliMies, so Panther's going to have to be on its toes. And Wheaties has to be very cautious with the Raketten positioning. One thing that we haven't seen yet from either player, I think, is any mines at all. And both players are very focused on fighting through the center. Haven't seen almost any harassing on other areas of the map, at least from Wheaties. I don't think we've seen him go up to the north basically the entire match. Very focused through the center and just at the bottom. Which, you know, sometimes can work out, especially if you're up against like the regular Sherman with the high explosive rounds. You have to worry about your troops retreating from those northern points, securing their retreat paths, but I guess the Easy 8's not quite such a worry. Maybe could have been a bit more adventurous up in that direction. Down the bottom now. Be an idea for the Sternfires to get the Panzerschreck upgrade as well. Seems like Wheaties could do with a little bit more anti-tank, whether that be against the Easy 8s or the Scots. Pass from the Major. Interesting rebuild on the Major. Uses that to spot for the team weapons. The Scots going off after that. Pushing away the machine gun. Pretty effective push. Should allow some very easy territory control in the center. Could maybe have sent the machine gun in there to follow that up, but it's alright. Gonna wait for the supporting infantry to come out from base. Double Rakettens down the bottom now. Wheaties does also have a recon plane. Smoke bombs from this commander. Haven't seen them so far. I'm gonna go for a second squad of Obers. Should be very effective against the infantry, but can be quite vulnerable to the double Scots. They're coming through. MG gonna be able to open up on these double Rakettens. Easy 8 in some trouble. And one of them goes down. Kitten's pushing forwards. Anti-tank gun gets decrewed. The double Scots, though, look at that damage combining with the 50 cal. That's almost instant decrew on them. They're a little bit clumped up, but that was super nasty. Started out as a pretty good push for Wheaties, getting the decrew on the M1, getting a kill on the Easy 8, goes south very quickly. Don't think Wheaties was aware that those Rakettens were getting blasted by the 50 cal like that. And yeah, with a bit of follow-up from the double Scots, they got decrewed so quickly. You have to be really careful keeping your double anti-tank guns right next to each other like that against these double Scots. They seem to be very good at the moment. I actually didn't get it. Well, I didn't test the AoE on them, because the AoE did get changed compared to the last version of the patch preview and what got implemented in live. So seeing this here, kind of me for the first time, seeing how good the Scots are. MG in the centre, double Scots right there though. Half health off the machine gun, first shell. Was pretty much pinpoint accurate, but looks to be very good. Oh, there goes the officer though. Meisseli has to be careful. Had that going forwards, missing its first shot though. Easy 8's there. No rebuild on the Raketen yet from Wheaties, so can't be too aggressive. Doesn't have that AT tank support. Driving forwards here anyway. And missing. It is in the focused gunnery mode now, giving some bonus range to the Easy 8. Is that a rebuild on the stern pliers? No. So they got the barrage. It's about 18 seconds after they complete barraging before they can barrage again.
What the hell am I meant to do with these recruits?
Wheaties with a decent amount of fuel could consider going for a second Panther in this kind of situation. Just needs to save the manpower for that. And that would, cause almost a complete overwhelm for Meisseli at the moment. Doesn't have very much anti-tank, though it has picked up some bazookas on the rear echelon and the major to try and supplement that. Which is maybe a reasonable idea. I'd also consider going for the Jackson too. Or another Easy 8. Both reasonable options. There's a big old blob into the retreat path. Lieutenant in some trouble now. A bit of blocking from the Panther. Look at that. Oh, suppression kicking in on one of the overs. Lieutenant still goes down though. Good awareness from Wheaties though. Saw the overextended squad. Good bit of blocking from the Panther, and there's the white. Smoke into the centre now. Going to go for the capture. Overs are right there though. Chopping through those rear echelon pretty quickly before they got suppressed. And even after they got suppressed. Jagdpanzer second for Wheaties. I don't think that's what I'd be going for in this scenario. Doesn't really feel like he needs a Jagdpanzer. Feels like it's going to be a little harder to micro as well. Nexus is quite a wide map. There's maybe some good avenues for it to fight through the centre with the Jagdpanzer, but it also can be awkward using it on the flanks, and it doesn't really need to go long range versus a Jackson or anything. Trying to outrange anti-tank guns, try and stay out of range of them, do damage from long range with the Jagdpanzer. I don't really think that makes a whole bunch of sense. I think I'll be going for a second Panther myself here. But we'll see how he gets on with it. One good thing about the Jagdpanzer is, pretty long range, so can maybe hit those Scots. Probably doesn't have the ability though to really chase in and kill them. Just damage them, force them away for a time,
The enemy is overrunning one of our capture points.
And there we go, full retreat from Meisseli. And just pulling back with all the armor at the moment. Rebuild on the captain, that's an interesting choice.
Squad is back to full. Our supply line just got cut off.
I don't know. I don't think I'll be doing that. It is Rifle Company after all.
Steady up.
Rifleman with the sprint, with the flares, with the anti-tank grenades. Strong option.
Hitting the field.
It's actually one thing that I haven't mentioned so far, but flares could also be quite good for this strategy. Rifleman flares spotting for the Scots.
All right, fellas.
Plenty of options available, which maybe
Sherman ready to go.
make the tank commander less important.
Our capture point is being overrun. Upgrade complete.
So Jagdpanzer rotating across a little bit now. Double Scots opening up with the barrage. Pretty good damage. Oof. Now the Scots coming forwards for some auto fire onto the Obers. Jagdpanzer maybe should be getting some shots in here. Instead it backs away. Okay, Panzer IV next from Wheaties. Major artillery coming in from the side, forcing the MG away. Good reaction though from Wheaties, dodging away quite quickly. That's that extra major sight coming in. Very good line of sight. There goes the Scot, following the slight reposition. Jagdpanzer a tiny bit too far back. Oh, and that's the kill on the machine gun altogether now. Oh, the Panzer IV coming around the side, a little bit isolated from the other two tanks. In some trouble. Jagdpanzer getting caught on this little shrub at the moment. It's one shot through. Panther coming forwards, but doesn't quite get the shot off itself. Both of the EZ-8s on focus gunnery at the moment. So they're moving around quite slowly. They are reasonably susceptible to damage because of that. Wheaties playing it safe, not really pushing in, waiting for the repairs before getting anything going. No, here it comes now. Jagdpanzer Panther combo, EZ-8, one shot from death now. Doesn't chase forwards at all though with either of these tanks, so the EZ-8 does get away to safety. Panzer chasing in for a bit of extra damage. And now backing away itself. Panzer IV coming in next. It's done enough to the bazooka squads, they're pretty weak at the moment. Okay. Well. Could have been handled better from Wheaties. I think there was an opportunity to get the kill on the EZ-8, but needed to drive forwards with the Panther. And the Jagdpanzer maybe like 5 to 10 range to make sure they were in range for their last shot on it. Didn't happen, so it did get away. But yeah, maybe a little bit too much respect from Wheaties shown. I think I'll be getting a bit more aggressive, just driving in, getting some kills here. Instead, you know, coming forwards, poking, prodding. But not really getting too much in terms of kills because of that style. It was wrapping around the side at the moment. Squad up to Vet 5. They do pretty good damage. Incendiary grenade, that's a good incendiary grenade. Buffman very low. It's just ripping in here. This is a nightmare as the US player, but here comes the Scots to try to bail them out. The long range barrages. They're coming forwards. Wouldn't be getting too close in this scenario. Didn't have enough support here. Jagdpanzer was too far back to chip in for any damage. Did have some confidence though. Did see the rifleman knew their position. Oh boy, is that the end of the Panzer IV, driving way too far forwards. Oh, that was a bit of a throw. Looking for the snare now. No, no snare. Too timid with the Volksgrenadier. Should have stayed in there with the snare. That would have been a kill on the Easy 8. So yeah, Wheaties. Yeah, that was not ideal. Ends up losing the Panzer IV, doesn't get anything in return. Going for the next tech truck, so maybe a King Tiger next for Wheaties. It's still a long way off. But the repairs might be handy in the meantime. Yeah, Panzer's starting to vet up a bit now as well as the Panther. Vet 2's got the skirts. It's going to be handy against the Easy 8s. But yeah, as you can see, the army composition Wheaties has can't really even fit the King Tiger into the army at the moment. But could go for another Panther, and I think that would close out the game very nicely. Just another Panther. Double Panther's Jagdpanzer completely overwhelmed. Oh! Whoa, that Volksgrenadier got vaporized. Where did that go to? Pushing forwards. Panther peppering away with the machine guns. That was already retreated. Do you have enough for the planes from Wheaties? That Panzer missing the return fire. Rebuild on the captain again. There's your artillery out the back here. Doesn't have the repair upgrade on the mechanized truck yet. But yeah, as I said, I think I'd go for another Panther in this scenario. I think it'd be pretty quick to knock out the double Easy 8s, especially if they're being used in the focus gunnery mode. And only has to worry about a couple of bazookas besides that, which I feel like the double Obers could take care of pretty quickly as long as they're not getting blasted by the Scots. Kind of comes down to positioning at that stage, but I think it wouldn't be too challenging, especially the airborne assault as a possibility, just boxing the Scots out. Maybe even could go for one of those like really aggressive airborne assaults right on the edge of the base and go into the US base a little bit. Now we go for an ambulance kill. Easy 8's on the move, but once again Panther pulling back, took too much damage. Jagdpanzer a little bit slow on the chase. And the airborne assault planes are a little bit slow with the anti-tank pass coming through. So no damage onto the tanks at all. Maybe if he like wrapped around with the Obers, came all the way around the back and tried to go for like an airborne assault right back here, that could be quite devastating, but in the closest central position, perhaps a little bit too easy to dodge, and unfortunately the Panther took a little bit too much damage on the way in to make that push count. But yeah, that's probably where a second tank would really come in handy for Wheaties as well. So that first Panther took too much damage, should just back out with it and leave the second Panther and the Jagdpanzer to mop the rest up. And for Meisseli, may need to be a little bit quicker disengaging the focus gunnery mode as well. When things get a bit hairy, there's been a couple scenarios where Easy 8s could have gone down because of it. Kind of lucky that Wheaties didn't chase in for the kill. Panzer sneaking its way forwards. Double Scots heading down to the bottom. There's one benefit of those Obers with the passive sprint now. Can be very good at capping VPs on the edges. neutralize on the fuel, but we can see Meisseli doesn't even really need the fuel, so it doesn't matter too much to him, whereas Wheaties right around there for the Panther, but does not start construction of it. Seems to want to go for the King Tiger. Seems hell-bent on it, in fact. But that last 90 or so fuel will be quite slow coming through. Major artillery out the back. Oh, first shell. Super accurate. Bit of bad luck there for Wheaties. They're chasing through the smoke now, going after the double Easy 8s. Missing its first shot. Double rifleman there for the anti-tank grenades. But no engine damage. The anti-tank grenades arrive a little bit too early. Here comes the Jagdpanzer, but that's right next to the bazookas. A little bit clumsy here from Wheaties. Panther backing away again, but stopped for a long time over there. Panther missing quite badly though. Double overs forced away. I don't think I've been coming forwards with the bazookas like that, but maybe a slight misclick. Looks like the overs were heading to the north, trying to relieve the VP pressure up there. He retreated this squad though, which is kind of interesting. They maybe could have started capping the fuel. Okay, so it looks like Wheaties is going to go for the Panther. We started this up about a minute and a half ago now, maybe, but now might not even get the chance because the Schwer under siege, the double Easy 8s and the double Scots, knocking that down really quickly. And there it goes. It's maybe one of the perils of sending your Sternpies to do the capping. Not available to repair up after a fight like that, so it's what left this so exposed. Maybe otherwise these two tanks could have forced away the push from Meisseli. Might have also been worth just dropping the airborne assault to try and prevent that as well, but maybe it was a little bit too late at that stage. But yeah, I can understand seeing the Sternpies up there if you need to sweep for mines. But I don't think there have been any mines so far this game, so I don't think it's something I'd be worried about personally in this match. Which is with a load of manpower though. There's plenty of options available. Maybe a second Sternpie squad to try and speed up repairs. Could equip them with the Shreks as well. I know he hasn't done that yet, but extra bit of anti-tank from that could be quite handy. But yeah, can't afford to float this much manpower for this long. No, he wants to be able to call on the KT as soon as the fuel for that is available, but that fuel is coming in so slowly at the moment because he just doesn't have enough territory control, because he doesn't have enough infantry to cap the map. It's a bit of a vicious cycle for Wheaties. Should just have bit the bullet and gone for an extra squad or two. Oh no, did get the anti-tank grenades off, and now that is in some big trouble. Panther coming through the center. This could be another time for the airborne assault. Try and save the day. Okay, he's done it on the Easy 8s, but they're probably going to be able to get out of there before anything happens. Scots pop the smoke. One of them goes down. Panther's still in the mix over here. The bazooka action. Panther with the rear armor exposed. Popping the blitz though. Should be fast enough to get away. And here come the anti-tank planes. They're going after the Scot though, which drove forwards. Panther does get away. Now the mechanized truck in some trouble. Panther coming out again. The overs there for some support. The bazookas are there as well, though it's just a bit too much. Maybe if it's a double Easy 8s, might have been able to happen, but bazookas there, it's just too much for the Panther to handle. Wheaties throws in the towel. Bit of bad manners from MeisseliMies. So yeah, appears post-patch, as I said, the Scott, we did get some changes that I didn't look at in the previews between the last preview and the live version. And the barrage on that seems to be very strong at the moment. Pretty quick at decoying team weapons, especially when comboed up with the extra sight from the Major. And on this commander as well, you've got the Rifleman with the flares. Seems to be a pretty powerful combination. Opportunities were there for Wheaties though, like probably 3 chances to kill one of these Easy 8s if you just pushed in a little bit further. And yeah, at the end there, trying to save for the King Tiger or something, deciding things were going wrong, going for the Panther, but by then it was too late. Tech truck was already dead. And yeah, the Panzer IV was just a horrible decision at that stage. Maybe it can go toe-to-toe with the unvetted Easy 8, but trying to come in against like a Vet 2 or Vet 3 one is just too much for the Okadobi Panzer IV to really handle that effectively. So it didn't end up doing too well. But yeah, interesting, nice to see somebody else giving some of my rifle company strats a go. And yeah, with a twist this time with those new and improved Scots. Well, anyway, guys, wrap on that. If you like your game to be cast by me, details are in the video description below. Otherwise, I'll catch you all for the next thrilling installment. Goodbye and good luck.